Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. We are happy that all of you guys are here with us this morning, wherever you're joining us from today, whether it's Facebook, it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube, it's LinkedIn, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. Well, we want to say a special good morning to our folks who join us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Some of our favorite platforms there. Good morning to each and every one of you. Well, y'all know it's about the things now. I ain't got to borrow no cup. I ain't got to borrow no cup. Cups welcome. Cups welcome. Like them nice and big, Cups welcome. Good to have each and every one of you on the light this morning. And we have so much to share with you folks. Debbie Collins and Debbie Hollis, Marcia Agard, Loretta Argyle. Good to have you. Those of you who might be traveling today, be safe, whether by vehicular, whether by a car or van, or you're going to be traveling in an airplane. Be careful on a helicopter. Be careful out there. Good morning to each and every one of you. We are happy, very happy that you guys are here with us. This is how we love to start with some good folks out there. And great to see each and every one of you joining us this morning. Share that live for us, folks. Smash it up for us there. Smash that emoji button. Nero DeJean, we see you there. Shauna Fortune, see you, Shauna. Magnell Barrow is here as well. And so many other wonderful folks joining us this morning. So many other wonderful folks joining. Osman Hodge, we see you there as well. Osman. Oh my God. Lose our bearings a little bit at this end. We see you there, Osman. Yeah, Osman Hodge, Neon Harding. Irwin Don Cook is here as well. Folks, we're happy and we happy to have all of you here with us this morning. There's a lot going on. Welcome to FYI to each and every one of you. Let me try to get. I want to be close, but not too close. Good to have you all on with us this morning. We're covering a lot of things today. A lot of things happening out there. There's an interesting page one comment today in Cyber News. Edward and Leslie. An interesting comment today in page one, Cyber News. Interesting editorial as well. Folks, I make editorial. Thank you, Cyber News. Made the editorial there in Cyber News. Yeah. We can talk about that in a second. But a lot of things have been happening out there. We've been talking about, for instance, the national budget 2024, that $1.146 trillion budget. And I see Mr. Jagdeo, Vice President Jagdeo, in a press conference yesterday, was trying to put his spin on things. He's a spin doctor. That honorary doctorate that he has, that was conferred to him in something, that honorary doctorate is spin doctorism. Put in his own spin on things, because this is what the Minister with responsibility for finance in the office of the President, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Singh, said about old age pension quite recently.
Mr. Speaker, we remain committed, sir, to improving the benefits received by our pensioners, and in this regard, with effect from 1st of January 2024, old age pension will be increased from $33,000 to $36,000 per month. This reflects, sir, a 75% increase in old age pension since we resumed office in 2020. And it will benefit 76,000 persons, placing an additional $2.7 billion in the hands of our senior citizens.
Yeah. So welcome back. Welcome to FYI for those of you who are joining us. That was the Minister of Finance, the Minister with responsibility for finance within the Office of the President, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Singh, on the old age pension. Well, we believe that, some of us in society believes that with this advent in oil and gas, we can afford more. We can afford more. Don't you guys think so? We can afford a little more. Kyle, Marcia, Egard, Yolando Thomas, Debbie Collins, Everett, Leonard. You don't think we could afford more? This $1.146 trillion. Thank you, folks. $1.146 trillion. We can afford a little more for old age pension. Well, yesterday in that press conference by Mr. Jagdeo, he got explained to us, why we can't get anything significant. Take a look. Take a listen.
Not a criticism of the budget is that we're spending too much money on. In fact, let me go after this one first. The $3,000 that we gave to the pensioners is a small amount. And we wish we could have given a lot more to pensioners. But look at our record. First of all, I remember the early days when old age pension was not given to everyone. There was a means test. If you were earning in the 90s over 75 Guyana dollars, you were excluded from getting old age pension because there was a means test as to who qualified for old age pension. The PPP removed the means test so that every Guyanese who attain a certain age can benefit from old age pension. That's the first point. Old age pension is not a salary. It was designed it's not contributory. There is a contributory pension when people work, they make payments like the NIS, and then they get a pension, an NIS pension, which is a contributory pension. In this case, every citizen of our country over a certain age gets the pension, old age pension. Many countries in the world, particularly in the developing world and developed world, do not have this feature. They don't get that. Our old age pension now, as low as it is higher than the wages of workers, monthly wages, in some parts of the world. In some parts of the world. Old age pension is designed to support, not to replace, support income levels for elderly people who you would assume would have had savings or getting a contributory pension.
Yeah. So that's his explanation on why there's a significant increase in old age pension. It's not a contributory pension. Well, so why are we seeing a significant increase in the contributory pension? Whether you have a work history or not, you get an old age pension. As he says, every Guyanese, so he gets an old age pension too, plus the contributory pension. He getting both. He getting both. But with this $1.146 trillion economy, we could afford more. But you'll hear later on, he makes the argument, folks, why this money go into the gas to shore? Why this money go into infrastructure and all of that? Even though this is the party that says you can't eat roads. Folks, what's happening at your end this morning? Even though he is from the party that said you can't eat roads, the biggest portion of the budget goes to roads. 10% goes to his pet project. His pet project, the Wales Gas to Shore. We can talk about some of that. But I want to thank Sabbath News for a very strong page 1 comment, among other things, Among other things. Folks, I made the editorial this morning. We can come to that. But in the page 1 comment for Sabbath News this morning, it talks about enhancing the comfort level of borrowers seeking state finance small business support. Enhancing, we can talk about this. Enhancing the comfort level. And I would be the first to agree, we need a simpler process. A simpler process. We don't rip it apart and take out the heart of what they need to do to attract financing, but it has to be a simpler process. And here in this page 1 comment, Sabbath News makes a point. Evidence that increasing numbers of unemployed and underemployed Guyanese are seeking out either full-time or part-time income generating options rather. They're seeking out full-time or part-time income generating options in the micro and small business sectors would appear to have largely influenced the increase in the small business fund to $800 million. So a lot of people out there unemployed, looking for work, full-time or part-time. And Sabbath News has rationalized this is part of what they're trying to do to help in that regard, even though they're not coming out full. And see a lot of people out to work. Underemployed. I think people 10 days work for 40,000. Of course, people underemployed. Who wants to sell for that? You can't raise a family on that. You see, that's why with the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration, we got to read not only what's on the line, as late great Executive President Forrest Bottom said. Read not only what is on the line, but what is between the line as well, especially with the PPP. Because they said 50,000 jobs, but you didn't know. What you didn't know was 50,000 part-time jobs. You didn't know that. Yeah, these are some of the things we're going to be discussing this morning, interrogating, extrapolating from this morning in our broadcast. Good to have so many of you on the line this morning. Carlton Smith is here. Good to see you, Carlton. Yolanda is here. Leslie Hamilton is here. Folks, I got so many screens. 2 and 2. 4, at least 4 screens right now. When you all see me looking like this. It's not the breakfast I'm looking for alone. It's all it takes this way. Pull up a cup of something with us. Pull up a chair. Something with us, folks. Let's have a go at some of the things we're tracking this morning. As I did say, we made the editorial. Sabbath News. Sabbath News give a shout out to the hecklers in Parliament. Give a shout out to the hecklers in Parliament. We can take what we can get and wait for what we want. Right. But I love, before we get there, part of what they said in this editorial. The ruling party treats Parliament and the National Assembly, sitting of the National Assembly, going to the National Assembly, Parliament. The ruling party treats it as something of an inconvenience, as a result of which it does not meet frequently as it should. Its committee system is not functioning as it should. And the government avoids sending controversial bills to be reviewed in committee, as it should. Again, the ruling party treats the National Assembly as something of an inconvenience, the editorial says this morning, a result of which it does not meet as frequently as it should. Its committee system is not functioning as it should. And the government avoids sending controversial bills to be reviewed in committee as it should. Right? That's what it said in the editorial this morning. And let me get the header for the editorial for you, so you can benefit from it fully. The editorial of today's Sabbath News editorial, heckling on the budget. Heckling on the budget. It goes on to say, hold on, folks, hold on. Where's our sound effects? Hold on. Hear what it says here. Heckling on the budget. Heckling on the budget. It says, the disruptor in chief in this Parliament is invariable, Cheryl Duncan. Now, I never set out to do that, but I can take what we can get. We can take what we can get. Disruptor in chief in this parliament. You mean that without Kwame? Oh my. I must be doing a couple of things right. The disruptor in chief in this parliament, invariably, listen to this, Senator. Mr. Sherry Duncan. It seems 4 days ago, he did not have it in mind to acting a way which would make any dent in his reputation. Hear this, for crass behavior. Oh my God. What would my mother say? He did not have it in mind to acting in a way that would put a dent in his reputation for crass behavior. Finally, some recognition. Finally, yeah, people want to go down the gutter. You got other people who can act high and mighty and bourgeois and, you know, nice and so forth. But some of us prepare to go down the gutter with them. They play the one act nasty. Oh, some of us got the capacity to meet them toe to toe. Toe to toe. That's some nice comments too with Mr. Jagdeo and past behaviors of the PPP. They want to come and act uncivil. Some of us could meet them toe to toe. We're not afraid to do that. Not afraid to do that. Don't come and lecture us. Rig the elections and all manner of nonsense. You all can't get one conviction to date. Crass behavior. Oh, Starbuck News. You ain't seen nothing yet. Hold for the fireworks. Crass behavior. You ain't seen nothing yet. Stay in a holding pattern. We're going to go toe to toe with them. And they will understand what it means when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. That being said, folks, we've got quite a few things we want to cover this morning. The first 15. Disruptor in chief, I can take that. And where the PPP is concerned, I can wear it like a badge of honor. Disruptor in chief. I couldn't coin it better myself. Starbuck News got some, what do you call that? That is people who coin these things. What is that? Help me out here. Disruptor in chief. Finally, some folks who understand. Finally, the first 15 things. The first 15. Yeah. Copyright. Copywriters. Right? Isn't that the phrase? Yeah. You're doing copy. You're fine-tuning. You're chiseling away. Disruptor in chief. Present. Damn it in hell. We're very honored to see the Guyana Fire Service, you know, doing the practicals and the theory. Recently, they were with the Guyana Defense Force and cooperating and teaching all at the same time about firefighting. We need this because we've been talking to you folks about how, you know, we got this runaway fire surge in this fire nation. You know, we need a South African girl with the water song. You know, you get hotter and more water in your skin. More water for the fire. So kudos to the Guyana Fire Service. And we need more of this in our schools and workplaces. You know, nationally, we need a stronger campaign on how we deal with fires, precautions. You know, you got to intervene before, preventative measures. There's where we got to go. Preventative measures. So kudos to the Guyana Fire Service for doing their part. Kudos to them on that front from the disruptor in chief. Kudos to them on that front from the disruptor in chief. And I see Margaret Nelson is saying happy birthday to another aunt of mine. No, Margaret is my auntie, yeah, family. Yeah. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. Secondly, folks, we can be celebrating with Elizabeth tomorrow. Tomorrow, we take the weekend off. We're going to celebrate with Elizabeth. The victims in the Caribbean Market fire. Remember that? As we on fires, remember that? The victims want compensation. I mean, we still at this point. We still at this point. I thought we've sat down with those people and we've worked out a way, putting them back on their feet so they can continue contributing to this country, and providing for the families. I thought we were already there. We're in a holding pattern. We're in a holding pattern. Come on, folks. You got to protest it in Linden. You got to protest it Caribbean. That's the only way the system works, That's the only way it works. This system is like your big back TV. You remember your big back TV? With the flight back transformer? To catch fear, you have to box you back. What up? Right. Some people their TV, they stubborn bar like a mule, have to pelt it down. Fling it to the wall, and then crystal clear. That's the system. I'll shock it every now and again with a protest. And then things start moving. You see with clarity. Ordinarily, no. Scrambling. But this government is a big box. It's a big back TV. What up? Shock the system. Clear. What up? Shock the system. Protest. Meet with them. And let's move things forward. Years ago, I heard leadership is not about saying things cannot be done. Leadership is about making things happen. And we're at that junction in this country's history where we can seriously make things happen with good guidance. Number 3, folks. A shooting incident has left a man hospitalized. One Mr. Lashley, hospitalized. Folks, there's a lot of things happening out there. Quite a few things happening out there. This is Calvin, is it Lachish or Lachish? Oh, you must have simple names then. Please. This is Lambert and Broad Street. Last evening, they said 2 men on motorcycles opened fire on Calvin, and he was rushed to the hospital where he's receiving medical attention. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Since August 2nd, 2020, there've been a series of people being gunned down. That's a character trait of the installed regime. Like paper shots. And that was the attempt here. 2 men alighted from a motorcycle and opened fire on Calvin. He's receiving medical attention. He's receiving medical attention. The 12th story goes out there, they can find them. One's a 12th story, new police building, smart, state-of-the-art building put down there in Brigada. Oh, they can find those guys. They can find those guys. They can find them. But the 12th story got to go down first. And while we run that, for those, law enforcement personnel, you're not up to scratch, you're not up to par. I don't know if this is the Secure One or the Secure I. That's a Rasta app. Secure I. The Secure I app is aimed at empowering citizens. In the works, it's not launched yet. Empowering citizens to document law enforcement infractions. Law enforcement infractions, like when you stop and say, left a Red Bull money, man. Left a 2 Guinness money, man. See, you got infractions too. Some big infractions. I remember Dion Bascom told us of some alleged infractions. My God, big money infractions. This app is going to help. Who money? The thing in the story here is when the app got to be monitored by the very people in making the complaint again. Who monitoring the app? Who managing the app? Is this going to be so cool? Is it going to be Office of Professional Responsibility? You could imagine somebody sending in a complaint to Soku. Superintendent just arrested lawyer for advising her client to remain silent. Soku can push to one side. No, this can't think. Nonsense. Who monitoring this Secure Eye app? Who will monitor it? Who's going to monitor it? North Korea played. North Korea, listen, disruptors. North Korea is a disruptor. And Williams, them boys now telling us they got an underwater weapon system. Folks starving. North Korea. You see when they talk about the supreme leader? Oh, they got a wail. Lamentation. This is now, what do they call that? There's no hero worship. What do they call in political science? Cult of personality. Cult of personality. Oh, they got to cry. Oh, Kim. You're the best, Kim. You're the best we ever had. That seems similar to what some folks want here. You got to put on a mala. You got to suhawi them. Oh, you're the best, mix a hip. Oh, Jagdeo is the brightest. Ooh. We can't live without you. That's what some of them want in this place here. But when you can get it, then get disrupting chief. That's what we're going to greet them. Disrupting chief. But I thought we said we're coming away from wars and so on. You know, we weren't going to go back there when we come so close to the edge and we dance around. And the rim of destruction. Coming to go back there. What's the UN doing to help? We created all these international institutions, spend billions of dollars per year. Look at wars happening around the world. Wars and rumors of wars. But this other issue here, the sixth issue, you want to look at this morning. When the Guyana Times complaining about it, you know its story. If we go in the National Assembly, disruptor in chief and all, and I say to prayer, in discipline in schools, deteriorating. I should use a rabble rouser. One time, they close, you know. They close to you, they're listening to respond, not to understand. But here, the Guyana Times is telling them the same thing. Right? And Priya now wants to review the Guyana Juvenile Offenders Act. As the ministry, the article says, battles the issue of providing an education while addressing the hike of violence in our schools. We got to use some of this money for education, bring in the experts. Lots of us believe because we rear two kids and so on. We know. Let's bring in the folks who study this thing. We welcome your expertise. Let's bring in some other experts too. Because what is the use? Having all the buildings, state-of-the-art classrooms. But because what is happening in the social lives of our children, they can't take in education that they should. They got some things, 12 stories can't fix, you know. And if we don't arrest the situation in our schools, them boys got to step in. And when they step in, it's real trouble. It's real trouble. So I'm happy to see that they're taking stock of this. Because unless you point it out to them, and we've been saying, look what's happening here. Golden Grove Secondary, this secondary, look what's happening in our school system. The fights are becoming more and more brutal. You know, we had some skirmishes in our days, in our time. We had a couple. You know, but the level of brutality we're seeing now, we got to watch that. deteriorating situation with the discipline. When Ghana Times come away from the politics, give it as it is, you must know we're in real trouble here. You must know we're in real trouble. I wish we could get some stories straight. And that's why so many people sign out from the news, you know. So many people say they only watch us. I don't buy no papers anymore. Chronicle was a Chronicle. What's the NCN? We don't watch NCN. They make it past me. Right? Now look, this is a headline in Chronicle. This is a headline in Chronicle. And Chronicle says, this is based on some of what Vice President Jagdeo said yesterday. Opposition race card tactics. Listen carefully. Opposition race card tactics. That's what he says. Evident in criticism of Gaisuko's budgetary allocation. That's what he said. I tell you what the fellow said. It is. He says it's evident. Right? In their criticisms of the Gaisuko allocation. Right? Let me get it for you. So I'll make sure we capture it quickly. He says evident. But when we listen to the press yesterday, he said so far this year, I haven't heard any, let me get the phrasing right. Where are the notes? We didn't, so far this year, the rhetoric on race, that is a racist budget. We didn't hear it. This is Jagdeo worried himself. You see? This is Jagdeo's and worried himself. If Chronicle is correct, Chronicle says that Jagdeo said, and Chronicle is a state media. Right? Chronicle says, Jagdeo said that we were race baiting when we looked at Gaisuko and the allotment. I want to capture the phrase correctly. Opposition race card tactics evident in criticisms of Gaisuko's budgetary allocation. Right? So I don't know, really and truly, which it is. Listen to this.
We didn't hear this year so far the rhetoric on race, that it's a racist budget, but we've heard the traditional things. We didn't hear this year so far the rhetoric on race, that it's a racist budget, but we've heard the traditional things. We didn't hear this year so far the rhetoric on race, that it's a racist budget, but we've heard the traditional things.
Yeah. Welcome back. We can't have it both ways. So, which is it? Yeah? The race card being played or it's not being played? The vice president himself, if he's to be believed, he said I didn't hear the opposition playing the race card. And Chronicle quotes the vice president as saying the race card being played on Gaisuko. So which is, you see, you watch the news, you'll be confused. He had war with himself. It happens. The Apostle Paul says, I want to do good, but evil follows me. He was a man of war with himself. Oh, wretched man that Jagdeo is. Who shall deliver him from all his unrighteousness? He's a man torn. I ain't hear races yet being used. But then Chronicle says, he said, race statics evident. Which is it? FDI. Which is it? Which is it? You're confusing opposition. That's the aim. King of Kings. That's the aim. So one can be confused. Young people watching the news, I can see them saying. And they can conclude, but they say Jagdeo bright, so I must see done stuff. Where all this marijuana coming from? Yesterday morning, we told you of $200+ million being destroyed. And this was in the Borbis River. Right? Now they say another set. St. Cuthbert Mission, a whole farm. What we're not getting at is who will own this land. Who do the farming? These things just sprouting like that. These things just sprout. What's happening in this? You see, this telling you traditional agriculture on the decline. Traditional agriculture, rice ain't doing nothing, sugar ain't doing nothing. People now doing cash crop, literally. Marijuana is a cash crop. Cash crop. I don't know. We clearly got an export market for this farming. Would this kind of farming be doing here? Every Guyanese got to be smoking marijuana. So clearly they're going to be, if we're not smoking marijuana, all of us. I know if we stockpiling, but clearly there's an export market happening here. Farms upon farms upon farm upon farm. Every day they're burning farms. With marijuana, who own these farms? Who are the farmers? We're not hearing that. That's the missing element. Ganja, marijuana, there's a literal cash crop. This thing selling out like hot cakes. This put little cakes too, to be precise. And I feel like very soon, you know how you see a dog food in every corner? Like how you see a Chinese restaurant or Chinese supermarket on like every corner. Now simply you got a Chinese supermarket side by side now. Right? And all of my same people, Wang Ping 1, 2, 3. Kudos for you. You'll see people on the street now with selling marijuana like dog food. Here's a 3-gram parcel, a 1.5. Pop, pop, pop. All these farms with it. We got to be exporting. Who done it, I ask? Who done it? Who done it? You know, we've been following Gavin Mendonca's career. Since he was a student at university and first started singing folk songs, writing and singing. Gavin in Ireland. How many of you ever touched Ireland? Right? Gavin in Ireland, at Ireland's folk festival conference, folk conference, singing his ballads. I like this. We keep showcasing our culture like this. You know? You got Gavin doing his thing. You got Charmaine Blackman doing her thing. Right? You got Milo doing her thing and Jackie Jacks. Tanisha, what's her stage name now? No, it's Tanisha the Freitas doing her thing. I love me some Charmaine Blackman. Who Vex? Jamaica Marshall doing a lot of things these days if photos serve us correctly. I know some young say, show me the evidence. Jamaica Marshall doing her thing. Right? Who I heard about recently? Dexter Daps and well, he's not Guyanese, but seem to have some Guyanese producing music for him. They're doing their thing. You know, that's all well and good. Good to see Gavin Mendonca way over there in Ireland, keeping the flag flying high. Thanks to all those folks who got the flag flying high. Jamo, Primo, Adrian Dutchin, Guyanese Babu, and everybody keeping our culture going. Thanks to you folks. Thanks to you good folks. Making it come. Making it come. As we're touching on diaspora issues. Folks, huge gas explosion leveled the building in Washington, D.C. Y'all just turn off your gas when y'all finish cooking. You just turn off your gas. Make sure the stove is off properly and so on. I know they got a far more intricate system than us. You got a central gas company and pipelines and all of that. Right? But take the caution. We pull this story so we can say to you guys, take the caution when you're cooking and so on. Interfacing with gas, dangerous like that. Take the caution. Flatten the building in Washington. Right? Friends, family, favorites, and flatterers. Region 2 got grants of 200,000 to 500,000 in the last 48 hours. You know, if you know the right people, you can get grants come and meet you. You got to sign up for that. Sign up. You get a call, hey, Marcia. Yeah, you, Marcia Jackman, you. Yeah, come down at X place. We got grant here for you. But I ain't got business. Hey, shut your mouth. Raquel. Vashti Magnon. Hush. Hush. Remember that from The Pearl by John Steinbeck? Remember Kino? Told his wife, hush. John Steinbeck says, and that was conversation. I love that line. Hush. He told Joanna. And that was conversation. Hush. Come for your grant. Right? How many of us can take by? Take by if you got price. I can settle for disrupted chief. I can settle for disrupted chief. Starbucks News made my day. Starbucks News made my day. I can settle for disrupted chief. And wear it like a badge of honor. You can tell me happy birthday. Right? Money shaving, money got met. Money's got to met. Another interesting piece in Starbucks News. See how much papers we selling? So much papers we selling for Starbucks News. We love them. We love them. There's a democracy, you know, and if you're in the public eye, you must be able to stand criticism. Don't be thin-skinned about it. Bugging people's phone, spying on the drones flying. Agro-processors want a piece of the action. This is what's contained in the business pages of Starbucks News today. They want a piece of the action. I thought everything nice over there. Everything nice and dandy and streamlined. It's not so. Oh, they're begging for a piece of the action. Begging Raquel Gentle, Sherwin Williams, Horace Calder, King of Kings, and Raquel Gentle, begging for a piece of the action. That's what Starbucks News is reporting our agro-processors as needing. A very, very interesting need, a very, very interesting read, rather, in the latest Starbucks News. It says, while local agro-processors have reportedly created 130 new agro-processed products last year, comments elicited by the Starbucks News from agro-processors in Region 4, 5, and 6, and 10 suggest the sector is looking to the Ministry of Agriculture to allocate a generous portion of its multi-billion-dollar budget in 2024 to facilitate the continued growth of the sector. There's plenty of things are well over there, and they need help. So we talk about all these things that happen. Again, this is a well-oiled machinery got running here. Folks, it's just some people benefiting, you know. A small handful from this $1.146 trillion budget. A small handful. They want the piece of the pie. They want their piece of the Guyanese dreamed as well, as all of us should. Please, let the rising tide of this $1.146 trillion budget float all boats. Like it's floating Tupui or Tupai. Let it float all boats. Number 13, and the 15 things we think you should know as the day starts. Jagabat and Trench Krapu. One for rape. There are some sick people out there. Yes, lots of them in government. We got a couple outside too. Sick. Sick. And they're looking for Delon Kelman over the rape of a child under 16. His last known address is Durban Backlands rather. 15 Durban Backlands. And this wanted bulletin was issued yesterday. Yesterday, this was issued. You gotta let them young people alone. Wicked bastards, y'all. Leave them alone. Father, deal with them. Deal with them. But let's be following. They're bringing Trinidad experts. Remember that death at Taipei? Is that the name of the company? Or Taipei. Just up on these back there. That crane or excavator toppled and the operator died. Or Trinidadian experts. When the procurement body can bring the expert to find out, how did Tupui Taipei got the contract in the first place? When we can solicit the experts for that? I think they're soliciting the experts to say, well, it's not Taipei fault that the operator died. When we can solicit the experts to review independently how Taipei got the contract in the first place, how Bordness got the contract in the first place. When we can bring the experts for that? See, this is the kind of country we're living in. Right? They're going to investigate the workplace fatality of the Taipei group and provide recommendations, according to Minister Joseph Hamilton. Right? Yeah. An expert is helping with that investigation. Finally, folks, we've already been touching on the surface of Budget 2024. And in the coming week, you're going to hear more of that as we get into those debates, as we interrogate Budget 2024, that $1.146 trillion budget. You can hear more on that. We've been touching the surface. Who gets what and what's getting who. It's not who you know, it's who know you. Over $200 billion to infrastructure. 90 million to gas to shore. Who tell you we need gas to shore? See, these are some of the challenges we have, some of the challenges we face out here, folks. And that's why this country needs better leadership. We ain't going down a right road. We're not going down a right road. So there was Mr. Jagdeo yesterday, trying to convince us, oh, if we only do this $1 billion US plus gas to shore project, your electricity tariff going to come down. Folks, at $1 billion US, we could all own our own generators and come off the grid. Your electricity tariff is supposed to go down if you're investing $1 billion plus US in gas to shore. And as I've belabored here before, if this thing's so nice, if this project's so sweet, how come international investors aren't swarming? But they bited the action. How come this guy needs money? $1 billion plus US. Oh, we didn't even supposed to be paying electricity, period. Yesterday we heard, them trying to make the arguments, folks. Trying to make the argument on this promise of cheap electricity. Well, them promised me November, generators are coming, blackouts. Bye-bye. So much for that. So much for that. Press conference yesterday, as I said, Vice President Bharrat Jagdeo making the arguments, the promise of cheap electricity.
We've made it clear that sustained management and careful management of the financial resources of Guyana must be a hallmark of every government, particularly in this era when we've started to receive the windfall revenue from the oil and gas sector. That we have to be very careful that we manage these resources in a manner that don't commit us to long-term recurrent costs that, should our fortunes change, particularly in revenue inflow, that we'd be unable to sustain. And so you've seen the budget crafted with that in mind. So a significant growth in capital expenditure, but a tamer growth in recurrent expenditure. And the capital expenditure is focused on building productive capacity for future growth in the non-oil sector, and also to bring greater comfort to people. So again, you would see significant investments in roads, bridges, and other economic infrastructure, the power plant, etc. These will have a huge impact on people, but I'll come to that in a moment. We have nearly $100 billion in this budget for miscellaneous roads and urban roads. $100 billion in the budget. This is leaving out the highways. We're going to, what does this represent? It represents, on average, about maybe 2,600 to 3,000 community roads that would be built this year. Forget the highways. So when you see $100 billion in a $1 trillion budget, it's a lot of money. It's about just under 10% of the budget. But it represents nearly 3,000 roads that would be built in the communities across Guyana. Whether you live in urban areas or you live in rural areas, you're going to get your roads built. And this is a key request of our people. We've made it clear.
Yeah, apologies there. There's not the exact one we wanted to show you, but the point is being made there as well. You know, what we were queuing that one up for is to tell you, don't expect any huge salary increase, because that there is what you've been hearing consistently. Oh, we got to manage this thing in a sustained way. So if we get any problems in the future, we can still afford to do X, Y, and Z. Right? That is the code for when giving you no big raise of salary. You got to keep the recurrent expenditure down. You see, but things are 1 billion plus US and so on that could go as white elephant later on. Remember they said Calvin Sugar Factory was supposed to be transformational too. The same way the touting the gas to shore. I mean, no, where that went. But they find it so hard to raise the income level in any significant way in this country. Oh, we got to manage things in a sustained, resilient. Remember, even in the resilient framework? That's the challenge we have. That is the challenge we have. now saying, we could save $1 billion. This thing could pay for itself in 20, 25 years. I want my cheap electricity now. Because I might not see 25 years having to worry. But the food spoiling, the blackout, the this, the that, the bandits. I want my cheap electricity now. This thing could pay for itself later on. Right? Let me spend this $1 billion plus US. But in wages and salaries, when you and I come in to benefit directly, we got hold. Resilience, yeah. Sustainability, yeah. How we spending this thing. Hear that bit on the electricity, the promise.
What does this project represent for the country? It represents 300 megawatts of power, twice as much power as GPL produces now. The people of this country will save over $100 million US dollars per annum. So because of the cut in electricity prices by 50%. So over a 10 years period, they would save, Guyanese would have to pay $1 billion US dollars less in electricity bill if we extrapolate that. And over a 20-year period, that alone, the savings would be more than the cost of the project.
Yeah. And that's what a snake oil salesman sounds like. See? Don't worry the higher wages and salaries. You can get your savings later. See? You can get your savings later. Don't worry that now. We got to spend this thing in a sustained way. Folks, I want me good life now. The man came out swinging. Yes, you have like eat out everything. See? You have like eat. Eat all the time. You only want to eat in. All right. Folks, fortunately, that's our time this morning. That's going to do it for us. Yeah, eat too much. Right? Eat too much. Eat less and live long. That's the policy of the PPP. Eat less and live long. Candy, lean energy, Don Sullivan. You get savings, you have that electricity thing. Hold on. They want salary increase and so on. That's saving some electricity. Put it to food. 10 years from now. 20 years from now. That savings you get from food. 20 years from now. From electricity, put it to food. Eat all the time now. Like eat now. Folks. We're going to see you guys in the next one, our penultimate broadcast for the week. We're going to see you guys back this evening. Valid, credible information. Alexis Boom, Edward and Osman, Raquel Gentle. So good to see all of you at this end. Have a great day. Like eat now. Take some electricity in your foot. Take some electricity in your hand. Like eat now. Folks, Annette Cummins, David Amsterdam, Candy Endogit, Wenda Hudson, Yolanda Thomas. Have a great day, guys. Whatever you're heading off to do. Whatever you're heading into the city here in Georgetown, you're heading out there on business. The Alistair Collins firm, right there on Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Streets, for all your documentation. They're experts, folks. They're experts for all your documentation. You need a good justice of the peace, a good commission of votes to affidavits. We want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm. 649-6410-685-6448. 685-6448. Yep. There you go. That's it. That's it for us at this end. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Maud and Wenda, Candy, Dolly, Irwin, Raquel, Marcia, stay safe. Until